What is your opinion on fashion brands using various types of bodies as models? It's great. It actually does a better job of marketing because people can see what the clothes will actually look like on a similar body type. Good. I'd much rather actually have a realistic idea of what clothes will actually look like on me. Whether that's my size, my shape, my coloring, whatever. It's nice to not have to try and picture it, and just see it. Also, people exist. So many people. And they all look different. What should models all look the same? I really like it. On the flip side, it forces me to confront my own fears and biases. I've noticed I skip or skim faster through images of old or very large bodies. But then I try to go back and have a better look. I'm not sure how big I'll ever get. I'm plump as of now, but I really hope to get old, so about time. Win-win. People buy clothes they can see themselves in. Please do, but use all the types of bodies. I haven't seen a plus-size model with a chubby back, a voluptuous belly and skinny legs yet, at least in my country. Enlighten me, like, please. I don't have waist, haha. I think it's great. I buy my jeans from Bershka, but not their website as the models are very thin, so it's hard to visualize what they would look like on me. So I buy them from Macy's instead as the models they use are curvier. I appreciate when I'm shopping online and they show a model similar to my size so I can get a more accurate idea of how the clothing will look on me. It's a good marketing strategy as their clientele varies in body types and shapes. It would be great if they would use a diverse type of models for every product. Not just one type of body for a product. Then everyone would be able to just skip the pictures until they saw somebody with their figure. Still, there are so many body types, I don't think it's possible to make everybody happy. I think it's superb as it shows that there are those who make clothes for unusual sizes. World's Tallest Models was a good initiative. It's useful BC all types of bodies wear clothes lol. In King of the Hill there is a quote about Phoenix, Arizona. This city should not exist. It is a monument to man's arrogance. What other cities would this quote fit as well? Las Vegas, New Orleans, and many other cities in southern Louisiana. If not for the monumental effort to stop the natural shift of the Mississippi River flow, these cities would be wiped out. We know these cities should not exist, but keep fighting nature to keep them intact. Dubai, Las Vegas. Pools of water 24 hours a day and blazing lights and sounds in the middle of a desert. Yakutsk, Russia. Regarded as the city with the lowest average temperature on Earth. One of the best and most truthful lines from the entire 12-year run of the show. Fort McMurray, Alberta. The villages in Florida. Las Vegas. Abu Dhabi would have to be a perfect example for this. The richest place to ever exist in the middle of the most uninhabitable place on Earth. Just a New Orleanian here popping in to see if anyone is piling on us yet. Palm Springs. With no water from the Colorado River, it would be nothing but sand. Which may be coming soon. A lot of cities in California and Arizona I believe do not nearly have enough water to support them without rivers being diverted to them. DC. The city your mom lives in. New York. If I can walk down the street and see a homeless man sleeping underneath a billboard that cost millions to produce but that man is still dying of hunger? Yay, that city is a disgrace. London, UK. I've been to many third world nations and never seen a like London. Even in the nice areas everyone is and unbelievably rude. The whole place is rotten. Philadelphia, NYC and New Orleans, Netherlands. Any major city in Texas. Dayton, Ohio. Every city in Texas. Texas as a state has no natural lakes. Every lake in this state is man-made from damming rivers. Save one that was beaver-made. Fresno, California. Birthplace of the credit card, 6th worst city to stay sober in the U.S., and famously home of addiction. 3. Houston. The Hurricanes are trying. But man is a wily beast. What's the age gap between you and your partner? We're the same age because it's my left hand. 11 days. Syntax error. Null. Half a year. 10 years. Wife is older. I like to tease her about being in 2nd grade when she graduated. But she's my cougar. I'm 13 years older. I met her when she was 23 and she insisted on us dating until I finally relented. We now have 5 children together. 5 years. My wife is older. 2 years. 4 years. He's like 4 years older than me. 5 months, and in those 5 months I refer to her as old lady every year. My wife is 13 years older. 6 years. Only about 2 years. She's almost 26. Met back in 2012 when I pretended to be her BF because a creep was following her. Hung out ever since. Began dating in 2017. After she told me she loved me, and well, now here we are. 18 years. It's amazing. Exactly 12 days. Just about a year. 5 months. 4 years. He's older. About a year and 4 months. Fiancé. She is 6 years older. I'm her sugar baby. Lol. She's petite 5'1" plus 110 pounds, so she has to shop at Gap Kids whereas I shop at regular Gap. And here I was thinking all people on Reddit were either single or divorced. He's older than me by 30 years, 16 years, 2 years, 2 years-ish, 13 months. I'm a little over a year older than her. About 2 months, 1 month, 5 years. He's 39 and I'm 34, I am 2 years senior. Roughly 2.5 years. She's younger than 0 years, 2 months, 5 weeks, 1 year, 4.5 years. She is 9 months older than me, 6 years, 8 months, about 7 months, about 5 months. She's 4 years older than me. 1 month 7 days she is older. 24 days, 2 years, a little less than 2 months. I'm 25, she's 23. I was born in 97 and she was in 99. Me 35, her 41. 10 months, 7 months, 6 years, 10 months. 2. BF is older, 6 hours 35 minutes, 6 months. Girls who took notes using 50 different colored pens, where are you now? Do you still continue to write using all those colors? There's a PM at my company that does this. No idea how she has the focus and time to take such detailed Technicolor dream notes during meetings, but I've never had a problem with getting any relevant info from her, so, Sue, gotta respect note-taking game like that. We all became bullet journalists. I will never forget sitting in class and asking the girl sitting next to me for a pen, and she turns back to me with a straight face and says to me, "What color? Edit this." Blew up. Thank you for the award, that marks my first but hopefully not the last. I work in it, and yes, I still have all those colors and still use them all in my day planner. I'm a medical lab technician. I took notes with a million different colored pens in college, up until 2 years ago. I graduated at age 41. Just bought myself a nice new set of gel pens. Real talk, multiple colors really helped me categorize and compress complex ideas into things I could remember. It helped a lot in understanding the material and studying for tests. I am a med student now. Also I am failing because I no longer have time to use fancy pens and prepare colorful notes for all my classes. I'm one of those girls currently in college. I don't do it because I'm organized or anything, I just love buying pens, markers, and otherwise I can't pay attention to my notes. It's aesthetically appealing to me, which immensely helps encourage me to actually take notes. I have a few friends that do that. One of them is studying to be a doctor, move the colored pens to a tablet to easily switch colors. Another wants to become a sign language translator, keep forgetting the actual term. A guy classmate of mine did this. One of the smartest in the class. His notes were fantastic. He's an engineer now and has a great family life from what I see on his FB. Cool guy. Jason, if you're reading this, you rock, my dude. They migrated to our fountain pens and use 50 different inks with 100 different pens now. It would be cool if after you died you could see the top 5 times you almost died. And a kill cam. 1. Not getting hit by a car. 2. Not getting hit by a car. 3. Not getting hit by a car. 4. Not getting hit by a car. 5. Not getting hit by a car. Brought to you by Watch Mojo. Similarly, I'd like to be able to see a health bar. When I have a cold, nothing life-threatening but one of those colds that just makes you feel miserable, am I still at 90? Or is that closer to 70? What's the lowest my health has been? Survey says, the number one answer was, you know what's cooler? To see a prompt for reload save file or new game after you kick the bucket. How do you know that's not what happens? I'm sure I was hammered. Would be nice to see what happened that I don't remember. Maybe you do. Maybe there's a montage. Maybe there's nothing? Enjoy Arby's. 1. Alcohol poisoning. 2. Alcohol poisoning. 3. Alcohol poisoning. 4. Alcohol poisoning. 5. Slipped in the shower because you were? I want the top 5 everything. I almost died yesterday. When I made 2 toasts in our toaster. I put them in and see one of them not all the way inside. So I push it down with my finger and a short circuit happens. I realized later that I was so lucky I didn't touch the metal inside of the toast head. Post this in our writing prompts. Let's see. 1. Talking to a girl. 2. Talking to a girl. 3. Talking to a girl. 4. Leaning back too far on the office chair. 5. Talking to a girl. I feel like deja vu is a point in time where you did die, but now you exist somewhere else, another dimension, timeline, etc. You get that feeling like it's happened before, since for the new you it would have been a memory. I almost died when I was born, so there's that. Thanks modern medical science. The other times are mostly cars. Either through my own stupidity or the stupidity of drivers, I've come within inches of being run over. Cars are really scary. The moon technically eclipses billions of stars every night. True. But technically it's an occultation. An eclipse usually involves a shadow being cast. And I technically an atom breathed by every being that has ever lived on Earth since the beginning of time whenever I sneak a quick one. By that logic, so does your mom when she's writing me at night. Depending on the time of month, even more due to relative luminosity. What is a scary, unsettling fact about you? I can somehow feel when somebody is about to die soon. Happened a lot to me. Grandmothers, grandpa, mother felt it all. But couldn't he do anything to avoid it? It's just the feeling, that weird feeling. I mean, I don't find it particularly scary or unsettling, but that seems to be most people's reaction to finding out that I basically always feel suicidal, sometimes actively, mostly passively these days, but it's always there and has been for almost as long as I can remember. I've watched so many crime and mystery shows, I'm convinced I could hide a body. I can bend my feet backwards. I pray very often for my trafficker to die and remain unfound for so long that they have to scrape what's left off the floor. I would do almost anything for spite. That wouldn't put me in jail. I have multiple disabilities. The piece of brain that separates the two hemispheres, mine stops halfway through. I've been through roadblock after roadblock in medical and education, but I've still broken through. If you want to believe the doctors, I was to be born with an IQ of a child and not have a real shot at life. Guess I proved them wrong. I have zero issues cutting someone out of my life. Once I feel like there's no reason to hang on to that relationship, I can cut them off without any second thought. I drop off the face of the earth, and they'll never hear from me again. It used to be something I'd do a lot as a kid, but I try not to do as much as an agilely, only when someone pushes me too far. Either the hard drugs or the work I've done. Normal people don't react well to any of those. Which is why I don't talk much about them. I feel people's emotions so much, like I really feel them with all my core, and I absorb it. I can just let go of someone the moment I feel the situation is wrong, like I don't beg, I don't chase, I just leave. I'm not suicidal or anything, and I'm not one of those FML and the world everything sucks characters you can find on certain subs. But there's dark humor, and then apparently there's wherever the I'm at. I've had to learn to be super careful about who exactly the audience is when I let loose. It kinda makes sense that the target audience for fidget spinners lost interest in them so quickly. As far as I saw, fidget spinners didn't even help inattentive children concentrate. They actually distracted other people with their flashy designs and fast motion. Somewhere there are warehouses with unsold fidget spinners lined up side by side with all those snap spectacles! Exclamation mark. I just remembered to check my gigabit. How many decades between meals can they go? I briefly considered buying them in bulk and selling them. So glad I didn't. The shady phone fixing booth in my local mall invested heavily in them, and complained to mall management trying to get them to ban other stores in the mall from selling them, because they felt like it was their idea. It's funny, because they still have tons of them that they never sold. Edit swipe makes me typo, can confirm. GameStop got in the game at the wrong time. They were buy one and get two free this past weekend. None sold. For sake. Long as I have a click pen I'm good. Trying to come up with a toy that grabs the attention of people who don't pay any. Fads used to last years. The yo-yo fad of the early 80s lasted a couple of years. Kids these days don't commit to time-wasting activities like my generation did. I teach 9th graders. I am amazed that this year's freshmen don't give one flying about fidget spinners or bottle flipping. And relieved. Mostly relieved. I was going to type out a long comment about why this is true, but, browsing the list of Craigs in my area, I ran across some they were trying to sell for $200,300. Talk about some buyer's remorse. That's because there are these now. I bet there's some guy in China with a warehouse full to the brim with fidget spinners that's also going bankrupt. I still have my yo-yos from 6th grade. I legitimately gained satisfaction from them and I want one. I'll just have to use my dad's one until I come across one on like Path or something. I was fidgeting mine when I opened up Reddit and saw this. Fidget spinners are going to be remembered as the Tickle Me Elmo or Tamagotchi pets of a new generation. Avatar, the highest-grossing film of all time, seems to have made zero impact on culture. No one references the movie and no one really talks about it since it was released 10 years ago. Except when my husband says we're mated for life in a Navi accent after having papyrus. Unlike Inception or The Matrix, which changed the meaning of a word. Wait, it's already 10 years old? Unobtainium is all I really remember. I saw it in theaters. The CGI was pretty. The story was exactly what I assumed it would be from the trailer. I went home and continued on with my life. I couldn't quote a single line from that movie if I tried. I am not sure I could even describe a scene with any detail. It is just an odd quirk of human nature that so many people went to see this movie. And The Princess Bride really didn't do all that well in theaters, But go into anywhere with more than about 10 people and say hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. The impact of Avatar isn't cultural, it's technical. Many of the filming techniques and visual effects we use today were either pioneered or perfected by the movie. The movie itself was just a vehicle for exploring new technology. That's, honestly, what James Cameron does. He's a tech geek. He's honestly closer to Thomas Edison than he is Alfred Hitchcock. That's because at its core it's really just Pocahontas in space. That's because it wasn't a good movie. It was an amazing display of movie magic, but it is the movie equivalent of someone so hot they never developed a personality. I mention it all the time, because I have to specify that when I say Avatar, I'm talking about The Last Airbender and not Space Smurfs. I got my first handy while watching that movie. I remember every single detail. Probably cause the Fire Nation attacked. Still trying to reconcile the hair thing for communicating with animals and then the same thing for and Office Space is 20 years old, bombed at the initial box office, yet it made an incredible impact on filmmaking though, and has gone under the radar in that aspect. I too listened to the filmcast. I see you. Star Wars. If Vader tripped on a step or something, how high would your rank have to be to get away with laughing? I think you'd just straight up have to be either Tarkin or Palpatine to avoid being choked. Even admirals who are actually trying to do their job aren't immune. Emperor or Luke, that's it. Me laughs. Vader. What are you laughing at? Me at attention. Nothing, sir. I was just thinking about how I am, Sir Vader. Good. You're quite. Maybe that would be enough to spare me. Grand Moff? Maybe? I always got the impression Tarkin held his leash, but they had compatible goals. Only if you were Palpatine or Vader respected you enough and the situation allowed for it. While Vader is generally professional, he doesn't tolerate disrespect so easily. Someone would have to be very liked in Vader's eye and wasn't inappropriate to accept the laugh, once more likely to slip on a wet spot. He has robot legs. Not gonna trip on a step. Only Palpatine would survive laughing at him. Neither Anakin or Vader liked being made fun of. The Emperor, Luke Skywalker, Grand Moff Tarkin, or maybe someone Vader needs to accomplish his personal quest. Anyone else of any rank is getting turned into a pretzel. Only people who could get away with it are probably Tarkin, Thrawn and obviously Palpatine. Emperor. Anyone else is insta-dead. Yes, even Tarkin, sorry. The real question is whether you'd be dead even if you just thought look at that clumsy idiot but managed to keep a straight face. I mean, does he go into automatic force sense mode when he falls and choke people out for just thinking laughter? I don't think I'd want to be in the same room, just in case. Remember that Vader can justify killing you to himself without taking an ego hit because Sith grow stronger with fear. If you tell the story to others and even if people don't laugh, if they go oh he's human too and treat you like one of the boys, they're actively weakening Vader's power. What movie scared you as a kid? The TV show Are You Scared of the Dark? And I really like it now, but it scared me as a kid. The Fly. Got nightmares seeing the dude's face peel off with insect parts underneath. To be fair, I shouldn't be watching that movie at 8. Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were Rabbit. Poltergeist. The original and made-for-TV movie. Tim Curry played a good Pennywise. I was probably 6 or 7. Exorcist. It's really campy overall if you watch it now, but for like 3 months I thought he was gonna appear in the vent in my room at night. Not movie, but Teletubbies gave me the fear chills when I was a kid. The Ring. I had to face Samara in one of my dreams and literally her to get rid of time-to-time nightmares. Slender Man. I saw that movie in theaters and had to leave halfway, later watched it and was completely fine. It's a mid-movie though. Artificial Intelligence. I was 9. The ending gave me an existential crisis. I questioned my own mortality. Lord of the Rings. The Descent. That movie must be the source of my claustrophobia. Arachnophobia and Backdraft did some long-term damage. The Judge in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Remember me, Eddie? When I killed your brother, I talked just like this. The Exorcist. I couldn't sleep for a week. Anaconda. The Wizard of Oz. The Grudge. Signs. That one did some damage for a while. Child's Play. I still hate dolls as a grown man. 20th Century Fox's Anastasia. To this day it still disturbs me. Way back in the 70s, there was a movie called Trilogy of Terror. Part 3 is Amelia. Very low budget, but effectively scary. I had to turn it off. I had to rent it as an adult to find out how it ended. Nightmare on Elm Street. I was maybe 10. The Sixth Sense. The scene with the girl puking in the tent haunted me for years. Lol. Candyman. Return to Oz. The Black Cauldron. The Crow. I'd cry but I was very little when I saw it. Probably like 4 years old. Signs. The birthday party scene. The Watcher in the Woods. Was a Disney movie I think. Seen it as a little guy in the theater. Basket Case. B movie is scaring the out of you. What do you think is currently the biggest threat to the USA? The current American political system being perverted by money, corruption and the checks and balances failing! People in groups. Our failed education system. The failure to properly support education in grades 1-12. Corruption has eroded away social structure. Corporations are now in charge of politics. Obsessive partisanship. The selfishness and short-sightedness of the economic ruling class. The USA itself. Idiots. Greed. Misinformation and tribalism. USB. Weaponized Canadian geese. Internal division. Our media outlets. They foment division, anger, fear and paranoia. All for dollar. Corruption. Disinformation. Greed and ignorance. The only threat to the USA is internal. The USA has many allies, and none of its enemies can or dare touch it. To be more specific, internal division is the most critical threat to the USA. Nothing else even comes close. The willful ignorance of its people, their educational system, healthcare, and how money controls their politicians. If the USA continues to divide, not realizing we all want the same thing, other countries already see this and will take advantage. Its own citizens. Lack of proper education. Aggressive lobbying is destroying the ability to pass bills to better the life of the humans within it. Division. Selfishness. At all levels. Wealth inequality will eventually destroy the U.S. economy. The ever-falling decline in quality of Family Guy. Complacency. Money. Or rather greed, to be more specific. The corruption is scary. Big balloon. Its own citizens. Hate. American political system and the biggest companies' lobbyists. The mainstreaming of hate ideologies. Mothra. Balloons apparently. The ignorance of our citizens and our failing school systems. Not balloons. The shrinking middle class. McMurricans. People led to division by corrupt media and politicians. Where there is division and conflict to be swept up in, focus will be on that and not changing the system that supports and promotes division. The media, education system, and the lack of family unit. Lack of civil discourse in the American electorate.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.